who knew Sade knew that she was different from everybody else. She went through a lot even before she died. She never let it break her.
Me and my family would never be okay. Imagine trying to bury your niece with no body for the service.
She was the strongest person I know.
She was my best friend. I will miss her. We had so much happiness and fun together.
And she did not deserve to be taken like this.
A 414 area code called me. My heart would start palpitating because I didn't know what was going on.
Justice for Sade! Justice for Sade!
Today's case takes us to Milwaukee, where in April of 2024, 19-year-old Sade Robinson, who was just weeks away from graduating with a degree in criminal justice, was so excited to go on a first date with this guy that she'd met, Maxwell S. He was 33 years old at the time, but she thought that he was a great guy and she was so excited to get to know him.
A first date at Milwaukee's Twisted Fisherman caught on camera shows 19-year-old Sade Robinson sitting alongside Maxwell Anderson before leaving together on April 1st.
Well, she was never seen again after that first date. And if you're already looking at this map behind me, you could see that this case comes with a trigger warning. Because not only does it involve the murder of Sade Robinson, but also the dismemberment. And sadly, not all of her remains have been recovered. Her family's still looking for some of her body parts, including her head.
The next day, someone found Robinson's severed leg on the beach in Cudahy's Warnimont Park.
I mean, it's truly horrifying. So just know what you're signing up for.
Please note that this content is for adults only. Viewer discretion advised. If you haven't yet, hit the subscribe, like, and share.
Today we're just going to do a quick recap of the case because the guy, Maxwell Anderson, is going on trial. He's the one accused of murdering and dismembering Sade Robinson and setting her car ablaze on top of everything. And on May 27th of 2025, jury selection starts, and that is set to last for about 1 to 2 days, they say. And then it'll be the state's turn to present their case, and they're saying they have 250 witnesses to call on. Now, whether they will or not, I don't know, because they say the timeline of the trial is that the state would present their case for a week to a week and a half. I don't know what his defense will be, so the trial could be about 2 weeks long or so. We are going to be watching this trial together, which is why I'm doing some trial prep, even though we have done lots of deep dives on this case before, including reading through the entire 10-page criminal complaint, which was just jam-packed with information. So if you want to see that, I have linked all those previous live streams and episodes for you to check out. Sade Carlina Robinson was born on May 10th of 2004 in Vicksburg, Mississippi. She moved to Milwaukee with her mother before she turned 2. Her father lives in Florida. Her parents were never married, but they did their best to co-parent. She worked at Pizza Shuttle as a cashier on Milwaukee's east side, and she also worked a second job at the Wisconsin Club, where she then also helped her sister to get a job. So oh my goodness, she was an overachiever. She was working 2 jobs and studying to get her criminal justice degree and wanted to work in the army. Like, she really had a bright future. So she was 1 month away from graduating from Milwaukee Area Technical College, MATC, with an associate's degree in criminal justice. And just to think of, her being so excited for this first date and what happened to her when she had knowledge about criminal justice. I'm sure she would have been able to spot red flags better than most, and no one would have guessed that this is what would ever happen to anyone, let alone a 19-year-old excited for a first date, just meeting a guy for a meal and a drink, and then, my goodness, things escalated from there.
Sade Sheena, that's my baby.
I'm sure we're going to find out a lot more, of course, at this trial than we have known so far. We don't know how Sade was murdered. All we know is that Maxwell Anderson told some person who is listed as an informant in the search warrants, so they spoke to the police. He had told that friend or informant that he wanted to shoot someone, dismember them, and scatter the remains. So if it turns out that that's what he did, oh my word. I'm sure that friend would be shocked.
Newly unsealed documents say an informant told police that they were at Anderson's residence on the evening of March 5th, and that Anderson allegedly told them he had met Sade Robinson recently and had plans to kill her, intending to, quote, bring Robinson to his residence, pulling a handgun on her and bringing her down the basement. Adding, quote, he then planned on shooting Robinson and then dismember her body in the room that they were in, and would be disposing Robinson's body throughout the city.
Now, her mom said, while young and still figuring out what she would do with her life, she had aspirations of joining the US Air Force. Every year for her birthday and her mom's birthday, they had a meal through MATC's culinary program. Her mom's birthday is on April 27th. Sade's is on May 10th. She had recently taken a trip to Jamaica. She loved to travel as well. And I mean, she just looks absolutely gorgeous in all of her photos. Her mom said that Maxwell Anderson didn't seem like the company that Sade would keep. She said, at this point, as a mother, I know somebody harmed my baby and I'm going to need that person held fully accountable. That individual will be haunted eternally. So I'm sure we'll see a packed courtroom because Sade's family, they've had her back from day one. They have been out there trying to search for body parts. I mean, that is so absolutely horrifying. I just can't even imagine. They've been so strong. They've done lots of media interviews as well that we've looked at before. There's even newer ones now if you want to check them out as well. And I hope to see her mother take the stand as well. She's really a very strong woman. So she was reported missing on April 2nd of 2024 when she did not arrive at work, which was not like her at all. So yeah, everybody knew her as extremely reliable, punctual, and they're like, whoa, she's not at work today? Yeah, that's odd. That's it. Reported missing. They knew something was wrong.
It's the last image of her alive before she was reported missing, her mom fearing the worst.
What do you think happened to her?
Somebody harmed or hurt my daughter.
Now, she had the Life 360 app on her phone, which she shared with her family, and that really helped the investigation because, yeah, it matched a lot of the areas, including her phone pinging at Maxwell Anderson's house, for example, and then him driving off, allegedly driving off in the defense. He's going to say it's someone else, but okay, driving off in her car with her phone and her body parts in the car. That's what the state is saying. And going all around Milwaukee with her phone pinging in all these different locations. Yeah, so the Life 360 app will certainly be interesting data to see presented at the trial. Her mom said her whole life was so ahead of her. She was so amazing, so beautiful, such a beautiful angel. Everywhere she went, people just admired my baby, said Sheena Scarborough. Sheena last saw Sade on Easter Sunday. Now, here's a quick overview of the timeline. Again, I would really recommend checking out especially one of the live streams we did before where we went over the 10-page criminal complaint because it goes into a lot more detail. It also shares the text messages between Sade and Maxwell Anderson, and it's a very interesting read. Now, Monday, April 1st of 2024, there were texts between Sade and Maxwell sent between 4:15 p.m. and 5:18 p.m. At 5:09 p.m., Maxwell enters the Twisted Fisherman from the west. Now, the fact that Maxwell Anderson asked Sade to meet him at the Twisted Fisherman, given the nature of this case, it just adds an extra chill factor for me. How about you? At 5:20 p.m., Sade enters Twisted Fisherman from the east. They leave at 6:24 p.m., both head east. At 7:04 p.m. to 9:06 p.m., they are seen at Duke's on Water. They also have surveillance camera from all these locations.
The haunting photos show an excited Sade Robinson arriving at the Twisted Fisherman in the Menominee Valley April 1st, meeting Maxwell Anderson for a first date. The pair are seen sitting at the bar eating and later leaving together.
Between 9:06 p.m. and 9:28 p.m., they were traveling towards Maxwell's house and in Sade's vehicle. 9:28 p.m. to just before 1 a.m., they were at the house. So that's 3 hours and 19 minutes. At approximately 11:25 p.m. on April 1st of 2024, there is human movement in the backyard again. This movement continues on and off until approximately 12:45 a.m. on April 2nd of 2024 is part of what the criminal complaint says. Then on April 2nd, between 12 minutes to 1 a.m. and 1:38 a.m., Sade's vehicle and phone travel away from Maxwell's residence.
Prosecutors say that's Sade Robinson's car. The home security video shows the car heading south down the alley that leads away from Maxwell Anderson's garage. The video is timestamped at 12:47 a.m. in the early morning hours of April 2nd, roughly 3 hours after Anderson and Robinson arrived at his home. In the video, the car turns west. From there, investigators say Anderson went to Warnimont Park and locations in Milwaukee to dispose of her body parts. According to cell phone data and more surveillance video, they believe Anderson killed Robinson sometime between arriving at his house and leaving Warnimont Park.
Between 3:24 a.m. and 4:35 a.m. at Warnimont Park is where the phone was. So this guy is accused of taking her phone that's pinging with the Live 360 app to all these different locations where he's then also scattering her remains. I mean, it's really crazy. Like, what state of mind was this guy in? Now, at 4:35 a.m., her phone battery dies. At 7:32 a.m., Sade's vehicle was discovered, and it was on fire.
The day after that first date, a passerby found Robinson's leg in Warnimont Park. Police discovered her torched car near 29th and Lisbon, and a further search there turned up her foot and other remains.
At 8:43 a.m., Maxwell arrives back home. Taking the bus home, taking a little stroll after all of that. At 9 p.m., Sade was reported missing by her friend. On April 3rd, police conducted a welfare check at Sade's apartment and there was no contact made. On April 4th, a search warrant was carried out at Maxwell's house and he was arrested that day.
And the warrants we've just obtained indicate some of the troubling items they found, including a knife in the kitchen sink, bedding, an axe hanging in the living room wall, a mop in the stationery tub, and maybe most troubling, women's clothing hidden under a tool bench in the basement, more in a garbage can, and still more, quote, concealed between basement support beams and the block foundation, including underwear, a bra, leggings, and a blouse.
And on April 6th, a foot and flesh was discovered. That's how it was described. My goodness. So who is this Maxwell Anderson guy that's going to be on trial now? So he was 33 years old at the time. He was a bartender in Milwaukee, Wisconsin, a former high school football star from Catholic Memorial High. He graduated from Pewaukee High School. He previously worked at his father's insurance companies, Anderson's Insurance Associates and Insurance Associates of America. He was listed as a manager in Waukesha County. His father moved to Florida and Maxwell stayed in Wisconsin. It's rumored that his father is very wealthy. So I'm just glad that his dad didn't bail him out because we were all worried about that at one point as well. He took Sade on a first date to a restaurant where he had recently worked and he was telling her that he actually wanted to meet up at the Twisted Fisherman first to get his tax forms from them. Okay. So he has a criminal history, including convictions for battery and domestic abuse. In 2015, for example, he was charged with disorderly conduct, domestic abuse, and criminal damage to property, and intimidating a witness. Also, disorderly conduct in 2019, and for second offense drunk driving in 2022. They said Anderson smashed a glass, punched a hole in a wall, and grabbed a phone out of the hand of another relative who was trying to call the police. So it sounds to me like he struggled with substance abuse, particularly alcohol, and that he had a major temper, especially when he drank, is what I'm reading between the lines here. Those who knew him said that he had a creepy and weird vibe. He was arrested on April 4th of 2024 during a traffic stop. He was charged with first-degree intentional homicide, mutilating a corpse, and arson. His bail was set at $5 million, and I'm surprised he even had bail. I mean, these charges are horrific. What? It's $5 million. It's high. But the thing is, his dad has a lot of money. There was a risk of him getting out, okay? On bail. Thankfully, he wasn't bailed out. A friend apparently visited his home in June of 2023 and found that Maxwell had dug a massive hole in the backyard, 5 foot long by 6 foot deep, for an underground basement, rumored to be an expanded underground sex dungeon, Well, I'm keen to hear what they say at this trial of what they really found in that home, and I hope they show us some body cam and all of that as well, because it sounds terrible what was going on in that house that he was staying in.
It says a confidential informant, or CI, told investigators they were inside Anderson's basement in early March. The CI described a room in the basement with a sanitation sink and tarps taped to the floor and the ceiling, covering the walls and the floor.
Nothing about this scenario could ever be in a parent's mind as something that could possibly happen.
Now, friends describe him as strange, said that he would flip over simple things and that he was childish. They said he gives off a weird vibe. You feel uneasy around him. At first, I didn't like him. I got a creepy, weirdo type of vibe. So if you at first didn't like him, did he like grow on people? You know, because it sounds like he was really creepy and people didn't really like him or get along with him. But okay, and then? Did they eventually get on with him or find common ground? I don't know. Here's some pictures as well. They said a relative suggested that he seek out mental health treatment, and then that's when he smashed a glass, punched a hole in the wall, grabbed the phone out of the hand of another relative who was trying to call police. That's from a Door County disorderly conduct charge, or conviction, actually, in 2015. And in a 2019 case, he was accused of beating a stranger. Now, I'm assuming that these past criminal charges will not be presented in this trial, but we shall see. Now, police found blood in the bedroom and on the walls leading to the basement. And if I recall correctly, they said that the blood on the walls leading to the basement did not match Sade's. And I don't think his either. So that brought up a lot of, wait, what? What else has he done? And I'm actually surprised they haven't charged him with any other crimes such as this. Because to go on a first date and within a matter of hours, murder and dismember someone does sound like serial killer material to me.
Police also found an ID card belonging to another woman.
No wonder people say, oh my goodness, he reminds them of Jeffrey Dahmer. In 2016, he wrote on Facebook, "Who will I be kissing on New Year's? The floor, when I pass the F out." His Facebook account is now deleted, and he wrote that he was a former aviation electronics technician in the United States Navy. Friends say that he had recently worked at Victor's nightclub in Milwaukee. Former co-workers describe him as erratic. They said he would get very drunk at work and his behavior a little erratic, but nothing that really sparked a red flag. He is said to love anime, shooting air pistols, and that he struggles to sleep. On March 2nd, he posted, "Anyone have a recommendation for sleeping medication?" On March 4th at 10:05 a.m., right before, he was arrested, he posted on Facebook about volunteering for Feeding America on April 8th. And he wrote, "Anyone want to join me?" Like, why did he do that? Was he trying to seem like a nice guy? Oh yeah, it seems so, but that's interesting. Yeah, but he was arrested right after making that post.
Sick son of a hurt my baby.
The allegations in the complaint are abhorrent. It is the highest level of violence imaginable.
Thanks to these people out here, we found a little bit more evidence, but we still don't know everything.
So I hope that you feel ready for the trial. Those are the basics of the case. As I say, if you want a deeper dive, go and check out that episode with the full criminal complaint read-through. However, by the time you watch this, within a day or two, we'll be watching opening statements together. Now, if you've never watched a trial with me before, I hope that you will pop in during this trial at least and say hi, even if you don't have, all the time to watch the trial with us. It's always great to have us together as a community as we learn the facts as they unfold in these trials, and we learn what really happened, especially in a case like this, like what happened. I'm sure there's going to be a lot of detail shared. And yeah, I'm going to remind everyone again that, the trial will also come with a trigger warning because this is a very graphic and very tragic case. So I hope to see you there. Day one will be opening statements. They're not streaming the jury selection, but I've seen multiple media outlets saying that they will be streaming the entire trial gavel to gavel. And those are the words that we love to hear. Of course, here we always start the day a little bit later than the court feeds because we like to defluff, which means we skip over lunch breaks, coffee breaks, any delays, things like that. So we give a bit of buffer time for that so that we can also speed things up if we need to and just make it as efficient as possible to watch and to learn all these facts together. So I will see you there. Thank you so much for watching. And in the meantime, stay safe and may there be justice for Sade Robinson.
I missed you so much, baby girl. Mommy loves you so much. I'm so proud of you.
Since Sade's death, her mother launched Sade's Voice, a nonprofit dedicated to supporting missing persons and victims of crime, the family vowing to empower underserved communities.
We'll get her justice. This will not be tolerated for our Black Indigenous people of color in Milwaukee.
But this week, a moment of healing for the family and community missing a bright young woman gone too soon.
We fly these balloons through the pain. Sade Carlina Robinson is her name. Justice for Sade. Justice for Sade. Justice for Sade. 1, 2, 3.